Conor versus Poirier. Just your overall thoughts on the fight. How you think it's going to go this time?
I mean, it's hard to pick against Conor. I was expecting a good fight the first time, and I think Conor did what he usually does and beats people before they even get in there.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to Cowboy. They get in there and just the pressure's there, and Conor thrives in that. So I think this time around, Poirier's a lot more grown up. He's learned from that experience. I think he'll still have some nerves, but I think it'll be a good fight. I think it would really be hard to pick against McGregor, like I said, but I'm just hoping that it's a good fight and that they throw down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Conor's a great starter. He gets in there and puts the pressure on fast, and that can just take people back a little bit. And sometimes in this sport, when you get taken back a little bit, that's it. You know what I mean? You lose that momentum, and that momentum he has the momentum and you lose it. Now you lose the edge. And I think the difference is going to be that Poirier at least fought him before, and he knows exactly what to expect. So he seems confident. So I'm hoping he brings a good fight and it becomes like a really good fight and competitive fight. I definitely hope that's the case. Again, I'm with you on it's hard to pick against Conor in the fight, but I'm not surprised at all if Poirier wins.
Oh man, that's going to be fun. I do like that it's at 55. I do believe Dustin was cutting a lot of weight. He's a big boy. His boxing and everything's always getting better. McGregor, on the other hand, is obviously he looks sharp in the Cerrone fight. From what it seems like, he's putting a lot of work and he's always training. So it's gonna be interesting. But I think I'm gonna go with Poirier on this one. I'm gonna go with the underdog and see how he comes back and does his thing, man.
I like them both, man. As fighters, I think to me they're both southpaws too. So I took a lot from both those guys. I love the way it goes. Dustin's tendency to block left hands is that high wedge block, the stonewall or whatever you want to call it. We call it wedge blocks, but this is not a great way to block left hands. I found that out firsthand, So if he makes the proper adjustment, like the last fight too, he kind of ended up blocking it, making the adjustment, but it was more of a forced adjustment.
Right.
But now he's so matured that I think that he's going to address the left hand in a much better way. And 55 Dustin is a much different beast from 45 Dustin. So I think this is going to be really interesting. And with Dustin being a right-handed southpaw, it's really a match of distance with that lead hook versus McGregor's left hand.
Right.
So I think it depends on the range of Dustin force is a little bit closer. You know that old saying, straights beat hooks?
Yep.
I don't think that's not necessarily true. It depends on the range. Inside, hooks beat straight. So I think it's going to depend on who controls the range. Are we going to be tight range boxing or distance boxing? It's difficult to close the gap on McGregor. There's a minefield there trying to get close to him. So I can see Dustin probably trying to grapple early, get some blood in the shoulders, close the gap, and create a tighter punching range. With McGregor doing what McGregor does, man, crazy kicks from the outside and then darting in with that left hand of death. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I love Dustin as a person, so it would be really nice to see him get his due. Unfortunately, being a good person doesn't make much of a difference in the cage. What you are as a person is not what gets the job done. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think Dustin standing is the toughest dog out there. Like, nobody came out on top slugging it out with Dustin.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But I feel like Dustin sometimes he doesn't shows up like 100 mentally, and Conor is so good at capitalizing that,
And he's a good starter too. Conor's a really good starter in that first round. He can do a lot of damage, which can change the fight, especially like with what you said. If a fighter's not 100% laser focused and confident, and they're already kind of tipsy on fighting Conor because of how big he is, he can definitely change the impact of that mindset with like how he came out with Cowboy, how he comes out with everybody. I mean, even Habib, he came out strong with Habib. He's a strong starter. So Dustin's going to have to, I think, weather that first round and then try to turn, like what you said, into like a slugfest and try and get in there and make it a dogfight.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I thought about this a few times because a lot of fighters plan to start getting into the fight a little after the bells ring,
Absolutely.
And Conor doesn't let you get into the fight.
Nope.
If you're not in the fight the moment it starts, Conor does not let you get into the fight. Conor is like looking to crack you from first second.
The very
So
very first second.
yeah, if it slugs it out with Conor, like the odds just go like this for Dustin. But if Dustin comes in a little like hesitant, Conor still has a chance. But I'm gonna go with Dustin for this time, to be honest.